In this video today, I will be going over getting started in managing a client account from the professional side. So in this case, we just log into a professional login. You'll have a list of all your clients here. So let's go ahead and go into our client's account by clicking on Go. So now that we're in the client's account, just want to give you some basic information. Again, the left-hand side is going to have your navigation area. You'll also see an account and balances below. This is going to show you a running balance of all your online accounts that you have linked up, which I will show you here in just a moment. You can expand these to see if you have multiple accounts within each subsection. This middle section here will give you all your client details. So right now we're on the dashboard. It's going to give you some high-level details here on the last 30 days of spending for your cash flow. It's going to show you your recent activity, who's logging in and out of the account, your updated balance sheet based on the accounts that you have linked. Also the contacts who have access to your account, and then as well as the cash flow projection chart, which is going to be right here. Most of the management of a client account comes from the cash flow section. So I'm going to spend most of my time here going over a lot of these sections. So in this first piece right here, the balance sheet, this is where we can start to populate a client's account. This is where you can add their online financial institutions, checking, credit cards, savings accounts, as well as add any manual accounts. So to add an online account, simply click on this button, this link right here, Add Online Account. You can search for your institution here, or you can select from the most popular accounts. For example, let's say your client has an account with Bank of America. You'll see that there are various types for Bank of America logins. One thing I want to point out is if your client has one login for Bank of America that includes their checking, savings accounts as well as credit card accounts, you will need to enter in that twice. So for example, let's find the appropriate Bank of America account so we can link up our checking. So let's click on that one. Simply add your online ID passcode. It's going to take a minute or two, pull in that activity, pull in all the transactions, and you'll see that in your transaction section here in just a moment. But if you also have credit card accounts, you need to also add that again twice. So select credit card here, enter in that same username and passcode, and now that's going to bring over the credit card accounts. So you can do that for your client for any of the accounts that they have. You can also create a manual account. So maybe they have assets that may not be tied with a financial institution, or maybe for some reason we can't connect with their banking institution, so we need to add those accounts manually or those transactions manually. Most cases you can export those transactions into an Excel format, and then from there you can create a manual account by clicking here, Add Manual Account. We already have one here on the dash or the balance sheet, so let's click on this icon to open up that manual account. And if you click on Import Data, it'll show you how to format that Excel spreadsheet so that you can import those transactions into our platform here. So once you have everything populated on the balance sheet, if you click on this icon here to the right of the account, it's going to open up some account details. You can refresh the account. If the account is zeroed or closed out, you can disable the account so it removes it from the balance sheet. Or if your client or if you know your client has updated their credentials, you can also update credentials so it can continue to link properly. What you'll find is, if there's any login errors, maybe the client changed their password on their end but forgot to tell you. If it doesn't refresh correctly during the nightly refresh, when you come in here, you'll see a red login error message. You can simply click on that. You can refresh the account, and you can re-enter in the proper credentials to continue connecting. So once you have all your balance or all your accounts set up here on the balance sheet, you can go to your categories and budget. So the categories is going to be preloaded based on your administrative based on what your administrator set up for their default category list, but you can customize it further by just clicking Add Category. You can add new categories as well as new subcategories. You can also create your budgets. So to do that, we can just click on Add Category. Let's, for example, just say it's a gas expense. We'll click on Next. You can make it a subcategory. for a certain category here, and then you can also enter in your monthly budget. Let's say it's $100, and create. So once you've created your accounts here, we can go ahead and start managing your transactions. So in this section here, this is going to show you all of your transactions that have been downloaded from the bank, as well as any manual accounts that you have created. In this section here, you have the ability to filter out some options. If you want to look at one or two accounts at a time, you simply just select those accounts. If you want to look at a specific category, you can do so here, as well as a customized date frame or date range. You can select your date range here or choose from a preloaded list. To edit a category, simply just click on Edit. You'll see the description that comes in here. We've categorized it into, let's for example say dining expense. You can also save keywords here. So for example, if we want to memorize Starbucks, we want to memorize it so now anytime we go to Starbucks or your client goes to Starbucks, when that transaction gets downloaded, it'll automatically go to the dining expense. That's what that checkbox here is for. If we click on Review and add Apply Keyword to past transactions, it's going to look at all of the previous history. Anything that had Starbucks in the name, we can go ahead and also apply that category change by just clicking this, Apply and Close. So once you've categorized all your clients' transactions, we can start to run a number of reports here. And I'll just show you a few of those and the basics on how to run those. So basically for the itemized report will give you a date range. Say for example we just want to look at last month. You can filter out, again, if you want to select one or two accounts, you can do so here, as well as specific categories and date range. So any of these accounts here, you can run those filter options and see what gets generated. For the summary and year-to-date report, the numbers do become interactive. So if you want to see, your dining expenses, simply click on that amount. It's going to pull up a new window here with all the dining expenses, and you can edit transactions from this section. And one more time, the year-to-date. For example, if you need to find something here, just want to see what makes up the $264, click on that and you can edit transactions in and out of here. So once you've run a couple reports, we can start scheduling or building out our reports. So in this report wizard section, you can select which reports you want to run for your client. You can create a cover page in this section. You can select which reports you want here, as well as, again, if you need to customize it and just run a report for one account, you can do so, as well as any date frame. So you can build those reports into PDF format. From there, you can save it to your computer, or you can send it to your client via email. You can also save it directly to the file cabinet by doing so here. You can also schedule reports. So let's say you want the system to automatically generate a report at the end of the month. You can do so here by just going through a number of these filter options. You can, again, select specific accounts if you need to. You can do a monthly report every 2 months, quarter. And then the next 5 occurrences is going to show you when the report's going to run and when it's going to upload. And again, you have a number of options to deliver this report. You can email that with a link to your client or whatever email address you have on file for this client. You can email with the report attached, or you can save it again directly to the file cabinet. So let's go to the file cabinet here. And in your file cabinet, this is where you can create your own custom folders to manage and just to organize all your clients' documents. If you're using the reports generator, it'll show up here in this report section. Simply click on reports, auto-generated, and you'll see all the financial reports that were generated from the system. For the file cabinet, if you need to create a folder, simply click on add folder, enter in the title so you can save it. And then from there you can also add subfolders. Again, just add folder, and then from there you can add your files. So your profile section here is for your client. This is going to have your client's profile information. Account access is going to show you who has access to the account. And then this section here, alerts, is where your client can set up alerts based on their account. If they want email notification, you can enter in their email addresses here, and then you can add alerts. So we have a number of alerts for specific accounts that you have linked up. So for example, let's say our Bank of America credit card, we want to know if there's any transaction that exceeds $500. We can notify the client as well as any professional that's on the account. So you can play around and add your own custom alerts here. You can get email notifications if you want whenever a file is uploaded to your file cabinet. And if you're using the chat feature, you can just turn this on and off. And that is the basics to managing a client account. Thank you.